before I get started on this Impact review, I have to say I did not see WrestleCon and I didn't see Lucha Underground versus Impact. Now, I'm going to see it after this. I wanted to see this week's Impact and then I'm going to watch that. So I know what happened. Because when Redemption comes around, I want to know what happened in WrestleCon. If I had not been sick last week, I would have saw WrestleCon. I would have saw Lucha Underground versus Impact. I don't know if I would have done a review of it because, understand, I did Raw that week. I did SmackDown that week. I had skipped doing anything for Impact. I did the Hall of Fame to make up for Impact. I did take over New Orleans. And then I did WrestleMania. That was a lot for me to do. And as you see, I'm still sick. I'm not right yet. I'm still having problems. So I just could not do it. But I am going to watch this coming up. What happened in WrestleCon and Lucha Underground versus Impact. I am going to watch it. Now, if you guys want me to do a review of that, even though it is a week old, you got to tell me in the comments. And you guys tell me if you really want to watch. It's got to be more than a couple of people, because if it's just one, I don't know if you're going to be happy. Anyone's going to be happy to see it. I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me if you really want me to do it. So when we look at this week's Impact, I got to say this. Taking away from WrestleCon and what happened in Lucha Underground, which I'm really not going to elaborate much on, and the Global Force Network where they showed Rosemary versus Jade, which I got to admit, I was very happy to see Rosemary versus Jade. I am not going to lie about it. I miss Jade. I've always loved Jade. And seeing that match again, even though I kind of wish I hadn't, because I really wish they would give more time to the workers there. I mean, let's be honest. What would you rather have? An extra 10 minutes of the Global Force Network for free, or building more people on Impact? You would probably want that. But I will say, at least in this respect, it was good to see it. I will admit that. But what we got in this show was pretty good. But I felt like they could have saved at least one or two matches for Redemption. One of those, fat kids versus skinny kids. I don't know exactly how it went down last week. Or what happened with KM and the Cult of Lee versus the fat kids. And I'm not being insulting. It's what they're saying on Impact. And I don't agree with it. But this is what they said. Now, I don't know what happened if they said anything. But to be honest, if they were going down this route, don't you think it would have been better to put this on Redemption? Instead of having the 6-man tag here, you could have done it at Redemption. And I know a lot of people who don't like Tyrus are going to say, well, no, it's better that it happened here because we don't like Tyrus. Well, I understand that. But if you got a new angle and you don't have that many matches basically slated for Redemption, wouldn't it be good to add an extra one as a dark match just in case something happens? I'm seeing it from the point of view of long-term for Impact to really build its credibility back up a bit. Because no matter how much the fans who love Impact say it's great, it's lost a lot of its credibility because it hasn't been on the main networks and it's had really bad booking along with bad management. I'm just seeing about the future of Impact more than just seeing about having incredible matches that are short-term. So was the match good? It was average. But it could have been hyped up more. They could have had promo segments. They could have had some interviews with Mackenzie, who I still love. But I gotta admit, that dress she wore, it looked a little weird on her. But it was what it was. The faces won. That's what you get. But I think you could have saved this for Redemption if you had built it properly and Tyrus was not the focus. If it was basically the stand-by wrestler and Falaba, that would have worked. Because they had to make it more about Tyrus because he was the biggest guy there, I think that was the biggest mistake. Tyrus could have just been an extra player in the back. Falaba and the, Justice? Kid Justice, I can't remember his name. That could have been the focus and the major issue. That would have been better. But I don't know what was being said last week. And maybe there will be a match that's going to be announced for it by Redemption. So I don't know. Now, I don't know how to feel about this match. Excuse me. And that was Matt Sydal at ringside. You got Petey Williams. And then you got Josh Matthews. Now, the reason I said I'm not sure how to feel about it is that, yes, this is building up into Redemption. They used Josh Matthews as a distraction for Matt Sydal to attack Petey Williams. That's the way it really went. He was just one big troll. Particularly, he was running around the ring screaming like a girl. Ah! That, I gotta admit, I know people give Josh Matthews a lot of crap. But when he's doing his job right, he's funny. He can get it done. And seeing him, and I had to show that picture of him when I screamed. If you didn't see it, I'm dumb. But anyway, it was funny. But here's the thing I'm not sure about. Matt Sydal being he's a heel. We know that. I just feel like going down the route of being a guru, not to say, it's cool. But he needs to beat up on Petey Williams. And do that on top of Petey Williams for the next week's Impact. He's got to do that to make it interesting going into Redemption. If he doesn't, this kind of feels a bit flat. He's going to have to be violent. And I really believe that if he's not violent in the next Impact, we got a problem. It's just not going to work. I'm just hoping they understand that when they show it next week. LAX. No, wait. You got Eli Drake. I got to do it that way. Eli is the man. I don't care what anybody says. Eli is one of the best talkers in the business right now. I know a lot of people will say someone else. No. No matter if it's in WWE or TNA or ROH, he is one of the best talkers in the business. In the ring, I will admit, he's good. He's showing me that he is a ring general. Is he a great ring general? He's an okay ring general. He can get the job done. So for me, he's got 4 of the 5 packages done. He's got the look. He's got the charisma. He's got the mic skills. Telling a story in the ring is still not the greatest. But it doesn't mean it's bad. So 4 out of 5, he's got it. And then you got LAX coming out. You guys know how I feel about LAX. They suck. Santana and Ortiz don't talk. Which is the most stupidest thing you could do to your champions. Not allowing them to say a freaking word for more than 2 years. And I believe, no, nearly 2 years. And I believe that LAX has been around almost 2 years now. Almost. So it really angers me that they're not letting Santana or Ortiz talk, and it's always got to be Conan. But I will say there are moments when Conan works. Because normally I hate him. I despise him. Because he talks and they don't. But in this situation, it was okay. Then, because I didn't see what happened last week, then you got the partner of the incredible Eli Drake, Big Papa Pump, comes out. Haven't seen him in a bit. Not since last year. Was that a good choice to put Big Papa Pump back onto the main roster and to do this at Redemption? Yeah, he's still loved. People still love the guy. He still talks whatever the fuck he wants. I'm sorry for cursing, but that's what he does. He wanted to curse, I think, at one point, but he had to be controlled a little bit. Just a little bit. I always love Big Papa Pump because he'll say whatever is on his mind and he doesn't think of whatever is on his mind, and when that happens, that's awesome. That's where it goes. So at Redemption, it will be these 4. The question is going to be, can still Big Papa Pump do his business? He doesn't look really good. He's like 55, 56 years old by now. And I'm not saying the guy, he don't got some freaking guns on him. He's got more guns than me. But the question is, can he still perform well enough to really do a good show? I haven't seen him in a while, so I don't know. It's a big question. Now, we did not see Ali and we did not see Su Yung. I think they should have done a Su Yung segment with her. Something. But we didn't get that. Ali, we don't really need Ali. Particularly that Ali's still not acting like... She's acting like an innocent baby face. And I don't like it. I like her to be more edgy as a heel. Instead of being, I'm gonna get you. No, I want her to say, I'm gonna get you. That is what I believe the Ali character should progress to eventually. But I just feel like they're being stagnant with her. What we got, Moose versus Callahan. I understand they're trying to build it up at Redemption to make it important. I have one problem with this. Not because Callahan went up against Moose. That's not the problem. From what I understand, from seeing the little bit I saw from the WrestleCon vid pack that they set up at the end of Impact, they had Callahan go and mess with Eddie Edwards already. And I feel like that wasn't the wisest thing to do. I could be wrong. I don't know how long the match went. I don't know how far it went. I don't know. Yes, you got Eddie Edwards eventually getting a towel thrown in to stop the fight. But I don't believe that was the wisest thing to do. I believe they should have kept them separate until this pay-per-view. So when you see this, it kind of lost its steam. The match was okay. In the end, Callahan cheated by using the bat. And I gotta say this about OVE. They just seem stagnant. When it comes to the Chris brothers, they just seem like an afterthought. And I really believe that they should go off on their own and let Callahan go off on his own. That's the best thing that needs to be done for them because they need more tag teams. I'm sorry. But in the end, you got... They got a lot going there. First, you have Eddie Edwards coming out trying to save Moose, and he got his butt kicked. Then you have Alyssa coming out to trying to save Eddie Edwards. And then the lights go out, and then Tommy Dreamer comes out and saves all of them. And now we're going to have a House of Hardcore match. You know, I have not seen the House of Hardcore shows much. I think the last time I saw one was like 2 or 3 years ago. I should check them out and see if the House of Hardcore is not doing too badly. But I'm alright with it. But I don't believe Eddie Edwards should have had that match at WrestleCon. He should have never had it. He should have waited until Redemption to really face Callahan. But this is what we got. Let me see here. There was a short package with Johnny, Jacob, and I don't really know where they're going with this, with Congo Kong and Johnny and Jimmy Jacob, not Johnny, Jimmy Jacob. It just feels kind of a waste for the Congo Kong and Jimmy Jacob. It just feels like it. I don't know why. And I'm not against Johnny going up against him. I just feel like there's no stakes involved. If there's stakes involved, then it makes sense. But there's no stakes. And that's the problem for me. I just see it that way. Oh, almost forgot. This woman appeared when they panned towards her. She's in my face. She's in my face. Tank Top Girl is in my face. I don't care if she's a teenager or a full-grown woman. She's beautiful as hell. With all that puffy hair. Taking it away. And now we go to the end of the show. If I'm forgetting something, I'm sorry. Just not feeling very well. You got the best match I've seen in a while. And I know people are going to say WrestleMania, when it came to Charlotte and Asuka, that was the best match they've ever seen. Or that was Shannon Baszler, I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, with Amber Moon on TakeOver. They thought that was the best match. No. Gotta be honest. It isn't just because of how violent it was was how well these women were telling the story. Tyra Valkyrie versus Rosemary in a basically anything goes match called the Demon Dance. I felt that this is the best match I've seen in a while. And I felt it was better than the WrestleMania match with Asuka and Charlotte. And it was roughly on par what happened with Shannon Baszler and Amber Moon. If I'm pronouncing Baszler's name wrong, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm very bad with names. I'm believing I'm pronouncing the name very badly. But in the end, this was a match that was close easily to TakeOver and easily surpassed the match over on WrestleMania. It just was. Particularly, and I say this again, that Charlotte botched too much and it was Asuka covering her ass. That's the truth. I just see it the way it is. But seeing that the end of the match had a pile driver onto a table, I don't think I've ever seen two women do a pile driver off the top turnbuckle through a table. Anyone else? You can say below when you saw it and who you saw it with. I can understand it. But for me, I've never seen that before. If you take that out of the equation, the rest of the match was very good. I love how they were telling a very good story. I loved how you got, when you saw Rosemary ram her head right into that chair, that was not pretty. When you saw that Taya Valkyrie got flipped very nicely onto that ladder, it was very good. When do you see women deal with ladders unless it was a ladders match? This wasn't a ladder match. This was a anything goes match. So I felt they utilized the ring well. I felt they utilized outside pretty well. And the ending was awesome. It was great, that ending. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, well, that wasn't that good. I believe it was. Because you got two women who come from two brands. Well, how can I say two brands? You got Lucha Underground and you got Impact Wrestling. You got one that's known to Impact. You got one who's known to Lucha Underground and Impact, who just came back after a situation she was dealing with. Which I did enjoy. I just did. I enjoyed the match. I believe it was the best match of the night, and I'm glad it happened. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the video packages for WrestleCon. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail because I still haven't seen it yet. And if you guys want me to do a review of it, just tell me. But knowing that Alberto Del Rio didn't show up and that he was fired soon afterward, and they basically hammed it up as much as they could to take advantage of what stupidness they believe he did. As for me, I don't know what the situation with Alberto is. I'm not going to say I know. Just like what happened with Taya Valkyrie last year. She had to leave because of some personal issue. And when it came to Alberto, they were saying there was some type of personal issue. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying I know what it is. I don't know if he's going back to WWE and he just stiffed Impact Wrestling. I don't know if his family was having a sickness and he had to go and see what's going on. I don't know. So I can't basically bash the guy. I don't know the real story. And I'm sure none of you do too. So only thing I can say is that they took advantage of what they could. He was not there. Now, basically, it's going to be Phoenix versus, who else? I can't remember who it is. Phantasma and Phoenix going up against, was it Phantasma? I believe it is. Austin Aries at Redemption. They're doing their best with what they got. I'm not agreeing that it's a great thing that guys from Lucha Underground are going to be dealing with guys from Impact in that respect in their pay-per-view, unless you throw maybe one Lucha Underground more match into the show, which actually wouldn't be bad. It'll help Lucha Underground a little bit. It definitely will help Impact, because if Lucha Underground is cool, they'll show a little bit of Impact on their show and can help Impact, who is not doing exactly well. They're just trying to rebuild again. So I'm seeing it from the point of view of long-term, hoping this all works out by Redemption. But it's just my point of view. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.